Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I have a bag drop. I'm going to show what's in my portable art kit, the day trip edition. And that's because tomorrow I'm going to go from Swansea to Abergavenny. Now, Abergavenny is a town here in Wales that has a mountain to climb on, secondhand bookstores to explore, and an 11th century priory to draw in. If that's not a good day, I just don't know what is. But it's also an hour and a half by train each way, which means that I need to be prepared for any and all circumstances, or a lot of them anyway. I need my portable art studio so that I can make good pages and have fun. I also need to make a day trip survival kit so that I have everything I need or want, but that doesn't weigh a million tons. So please join me while I show you what's inside my portable art kit and my day trip survival pack. If you like journal arts, altered books, vintage books, paper, and other ephemera, be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please turn on the notifications, and you will have more of them in your life. Now, let's go look inside this bag. Before I open up this portable art kit and show what's inside for making, let's talk about a few of the things that make this a survival kit. We are having on and off train strikes here in Britain, which means that train travel could be possibly challenging tomorrow. It's certainly possible that I could get stranded, which means I need to be over-prepared. I'm taking a good book. This is by Sarah Maitland, A Book of Silence. And it's a book about how she goes away on her own to try living in silence and with silence. And she also writes about other people in history who have done the same. And it's giving me a lot to think about. On a less lofty note, I have a picnic. Let's see. I have my vegan cheese. I have some fig and rosemary biscuits. And I have a teeny tiny little cake. It's called a Madeleine. I also have an apple. So you can see I really like portion control, but I've got just enough here to keep me from losing my fool mind if I get stranded in Newport. I have this adorable bag, and inside are my red headphones. And I want these because on my phone I have French lessons that I can listen to and work on. I also have a meditation app, which if I do get stranded, I can listen to that and it will help me stay grounded and just help me with my practice in general. So I want to have my headphones for that. I have a notebook, and that is so that I can write in my diary and also so that I can take notes about some art projects that I have planned for the rest of this year. And I want to be able to just think on paper as I do. I have some lipstick. I have a baseball cap in case it rains. It's Wales. It's probably going to rain. I have these notes. These are notes on liturgy and architecture. And if you've seen my videos, you know that those two things show up a lot in my artwork and my practice. So, and I've been meaning to read this for yonks. If I'm on a train for 3 hours, I'm finally going to get it read, make some notes, and maybe add something that I learn to my artwork. It also means that I'll be a little bit smarter on the way home than I was on the way out. And that's always a good thing. I'm meeting an art journal friend. So I'm taking her this teeny tiny adorable little jam jar full of handmade onion skin ink. It's just a little, very little prezzy. I have my fancy business cards in a traveler's notebook, and that's because I'm relentlessly self-promoting, and it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Now, on to the portable art studio. If you saw last week's video, you know that it was a flip through of my latest illustrated journal, my visual diary that I have just completed, which means that I have started a new one. Now, this is Hahnemühle. I've been using these for a while. I really like them. The paper is not a watercolor paper, but it's lighter than watercolor paper, but heavier than a sketch paper, because I want it to be able to stand up to watercolor and gluing and other liquid elements. So it's what I think we could just call medium heavy, this paper. I do this for a living, and I am still often intimidated by a blank page. I know people are also, because they tell me when I teach workshops. So one of my hacks and tips for getting past that fear of the blank page is that when I have a new book, I just drizzle the pages with some tea. I just leave the blank book, my new book, on the table or the kitchen counter, and every time I walk by, I drizzle a little bit of tea, squash it flat so it's kind of like an ink blot. And then just let that dry, and maybe an hour or two later, when it's dry, do another one and another one until I have a nice bunch of tea-stained pages that aren't scary. They also add some interest to the eye. And you just want to draw and paint right into them and over them, and they will add some texture and fun background to your page. Back in the day, I used to take everything and then some in my bag. In time, it was not good for my shoulders. It was especially not good for my sense of humor. So I have learned what is the least amount possible that I need in my bag to make good pages. And it starts with this bag. It's a LIHIT bag. You know what? I actually have a very fancy artist's roll for my pens and brushes that I treated myself to for a big birthday. And after 3 weeks, I found that I did not like it as much as my inexpensive nylon LIHIT bag. LIHIT is the make. If I can find the link to their site, I will put it in the text below this video. I don't promote for them. I would like to. LIHIT, give me a call. But I do like these bags a lot, and I have them in different sizes, and I use them all the time because pockets, 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 pockets. In fact, the whole bag is one big pocket because it zips open like this and lies flat. So now inside of the bag, I have a water bottle with it's just some water that I use to activate my watercolors. This is a brand new pack. I bought them as I bought them for another big birthday. What can I say? I'm still breaking it in. And I want to activate my watercolors, get them nice and wet and movable by spritzing them with water. I like to take a little external mixing palette. This is not heavy. It looks heavy, but it's not. It's air-dried clay rather than baked, so it's quite light. And then I can I've only been taking an external mixing tray for a couple of years now, but I have to tell you that since I have, it has really, really upped my painting game in my book. A glue stick. I use Uhu. I love them. I know some of you have told me that they don't work for you, but they have a lot of slip, and I use them. I buy them in bulk. That's how much I use them. I buy them in bulk. A pencil sharpener and an eraser. I tend to carry two kinds of brushes. The water brush, which we'll look at in a mo. I also have a set of travel watercolor brushes. They are kind of small, and then this cap protects the brush and then posts on the back so that now I have a nice substantial brush to work with. These are good if I'm sitting down in a cafe or a restaurant where I can order a cup of water and do some more traditional painting with my watercolors. I got them on eBay. I just put in travel watercolor set and or portable watercolor brushes. And I know they also sell them at some online art stores. The one that I shop from here in Britain has them. They come in different price ranges. I could not afford the best ones, so I got a kind of medium-priced one, but I read the reviews. And if you read the reviews and they're fair to good, buy what's in your budget. I also have, as I said, a water brush, well, several water brushes. And they have a reservoir that's, the water that you need is inside the brush. So if you're not in a cute place where you can order a cup of water, if you are on a train, if you are in a church and you want to do some pages, or where you will, you can now take this water brush, you squeeze it like this, squeeze, and the water comes right out. And that means I can just start painting wherever I am, even if I don't have some water, some water outside that I can use. These are fantastic. You can also use them to activate water solubles. Water solubles are one of the two kinds of pens that I carry with me. I have some pens that are water resistant, and once that ink is down, it's down and it's staying down. But I also have some pens where the ink is can be activated with water, like this Pentel pen, and also this is one of my fountain pens that's got kind of a brown ink in there. And this ink is also water soluble, and I sketch with this a lot. Now, what I can do is, this is with the Pentel, that yellow one I was just showing you. And you can see now that if I go over this with my water brush, it's creating a wash, which means that is going to be a very forgiving thing to work in if I'm doing a sketch. This is the watercolor ink. It's a kind of a tobacco brown color, and it is also now turning into a wash. I also carry water-soluble graphite pencils. This one is by Caran d'Ache. And again, I can just squeeze out a little bit of water here. And that's just going to turn luscious and gray and messy and forgiving, and let me make some fun techniques when I'm making pages on the road. I also have a couple of plain old pencils that are not water soluble. This is just a nice pencil. This is a 4B lead. And then I have a mechanical pencil for some more fine drawing. These pens that I have that are water resistant, that are water fast, I have one in a 0.1 and then a 0.2 because I like a really fine line if I'm sketching with pen. In addition, I have some that are, I think this is a 0.7, and it's got a much broader nib so that I can then do hand lettering, and it's going to be bolder. So I can add my notes and stuff like that. So I have a couple of those thicker 0.5, 0.7 pens. If you'd like to see that in action, this is one of the water resistant, the water fast pens. And if I go over it with water, it's just staying there. It's not blending or moving. Now, this is a different drawing that I did with a water-soluble pen. And you can see that now I can squirt out some water there. And that is starting to turn into a wash that I can then move into my, let's see, let's come down, 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 down. There we go. I can then move into to add some shading. And it's also, as I said, it's very forgiving because now it's smudgy. It's deliberately and happy and smudgy. So it's okay if it's imprecise. And that's one of the reasons why I really, really, really love to work with water solubles when I'm on the road. A good way and a fun way to get working on your page is to draw what's in your bag. Whether it is your portable art kit or whether it's just your pocketbook and your keys. Do a bag drop, draw what's in there, add some labels, and you're going to have a good page to start with. I'm going to draw some of the things that I have shown in this video, and it's going to be messy. I'm not going to worry about perspective and shading or composition. I'm just going to get a fun, messy drawing down on the page. And there you go. I've done it in almost like a cartoon style. I did add some watercolor. If you don't have watercolor, you could use colored pencils or crayons, or just do it as a line drawing. Just be loose and messy and have fun, and don't be afraid to draw in your book. It's only paper and ink, people. I am going to go around the whole piece here with that pen that's got the heavier tip to it, and make a frame, kind of a box, like this. Just doing it to the eye. And now, after I get this video up this evening, I'm going to pull up a cup of tea and add some notes, maybe some captions, and some notes about these pieces and or the train ride, or what you will. And I'll have a page. If you would like to learn how to make and keep your own illustrated journal, a visual diary, I have an online class for that. You can check it out. There's a link below this video that goes to it. It now has a free preview lesson, so hop over there and see what you think. If you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comments below this video. Tell me what's in your bag. Let's compare notes. Until next week, get up and go make something.